Baruch here with GenConnect.com, and I am joined today by the one and only Yo-Yo Ma. Mr. Ma, thanks for being here.
It's great to be here. Good to see you too.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
You know, I saw you yesterday playing with Tim Conley, who was injured very terribly during his service as a Marine, and I really saw that connection, the way that music really united the two of you and united the audience. What is the power of music to really transcend the notes and unite and really heal people?
Well, I think it's the reason we met with Tim Conley is because he found something through music that gave him the one thing that the Marines could not give him, which was hope. Because when he had no hope, that was the thing that he could latch onto and realize that there was a humanity inside of him and it didn't need other limbs. And that humanity, he could bring all of that through what he is able to sing. And so he has something that musicians, artists struggle for a whole lifetime, which is to find his voice. He found his voice through incredible tragedy, but he got himself out of it. So the message from him and from me is like, my goodness, what an inspiration. You know, if he's not complaining about life, what am I doing, right?
And really through his loss, he found something completely new, found a whole new voice.
Absolutely. And this is the kind of citizen we want. This is the kind of citizen that is not complaining or whining about what we, don't have enough of, but rather to say we dig really deep down inside ourselves to find a way to go forward. And if he can do it, I think the rest of us can also do it.
You are known for really being the best classical musician in the world, and you have reinterpreted in your own way, in your own voice, so many legendary pieces of music. How do you approach each piece of music with a fresh perspective?
Well, I think a musician is nothing more than a storyteller. You know, how much you love your story, how deeply you're engaged in it, and if we're all storytellers. In fact, our lives consists of stories from way early on. And I think in terms of telling a story, who are you? Who's the storyteller? Are you telling someone else's story? And who are you telling it to? All those things come into being. I think that not addressing your audience, you can't tell the same story the same way twice, because you have every day is a different day. Every day there's a different audience. And so you actually have to constantly renew yourself and take in new things and understand why you want to tell a story, why somebody wants to hear a story. It's not about classical music. It's not about, it's really about a narrative that we really want to share with one another.
Do you find that the changes in your own personal narrative, the things happening off stage, impact the way you present the music on stage?
Well, of course, and that's why we here at the Aspen Institute Festival of Ideas, we're trying to talk about the way that we could think about art, not for art's sake, but art for life's sake, for all of our lives' sake. That's why the idea of citizen musician, citizen artist. What can we do when we look at the whole, and how can we, the biggest picture there is in society, on our planet, in our country, and what can we do individually to impact? So I'm very jazzed by the idea that you have the Franklin Project here that's starting a national service for youth movement, because how else can our whole country get together? It used to be through the armed forces, when there was a draft. Now, what is there? So this is one of the means that we can actually meet people from everywhere around our country and then do something that's useful, do something that's impactful. And that's what we try to do in the music arts field, is to say, wait a minute, we can actually form a cultural core, and we can actually use the things that we do in the performing arts, which is to be collaborative, to be flexible in our thinking, to be imaginative in our thinking, and to be innovative in our thinking. And guess what? It turns out to be exactly the values that we need right now in our country for our workforce to advance our common cause.
There's a whole new generation of storytellers, of citizen musicians coming up now. What advice would you offer them to develop the same kind of discipline and commitment that you've developed to really become accomplished citizen musicians?
Well, I think is to never lose track of what the final goal is. And the final goal ultimately is for the social good. You know, yes, you could work for truth. What is the truth? You know, whose truth? You could work for beauty. Whose beauty? You could work for goodness. For whom? And I think if you do that, if everybody works in that way, whether you're doing your job or my job, or you're a journalist, or you're a scientist, or you're a musician, you're going to be answering those questions through, in my case, for a musician, through the sound world. How is the sound that you make going to affect those three elements?
What's the best advice you've ever received?
Always put the toilet seat down.
Yo-Yo Ma, thank you.
Thank you.
And for more with Yo-Yo Ma, be sure to check out GenConnect.com.